Welcome to Work the Left Side. I'm hyper hyped to announce tonight's guest. It is the miracle himself, Mr. Hisham Harris. Sir, are you good?
I am good. Thank you for having me on here, Nick. And
That's
just want
not
to let you know to everyone, I'm the Miracle Hisham Harris, and praise the miracle.
There we go. You see, it's just always nice to come across a miracle. It's nice to reconfirm that they do happen, and we have proof. We have one right here. So there we go. Um, Dude, you obviously, straight away, I just want to say thank you for coming on. Any chance I get at the minute to talk about elevation, mate, I'm more than happy to do so. It's a school and a promotion that I am hyped, that generally gets me excited, and I know there's a lot of good people there. Obviously yourself as well. I'm just interested. Just to get to talk to you, see what's going on in the wonderful world of the miracle. So obviously, I sort of said before we hit record, I was sort of scrolling through Insta, looking at sort of stuff to see that I could talk about. Um, and one of the things that jumped out at me is I'm an old school fan. Spanky Brian Kendrick, is one of my guys back in the day. And yeah, man, for Full Force Wrestling, you recently had the joys of a seminar. You got to meet the guy himself and train with him, I guess.
Yes, I did. And as you know, he is the man with the plan, Brian Kendrick. Everyone knows that.
Yeah,
And it was really an honor to learn from him in that seminar and to get some good pointers from him as well.
because that's the thing. Obviously, I'd sort of say, I was a massive mock for him back in the day. But I can never presume or think how long people have been watching wrestling for, how long you've been a fan for. Was you obviously a WWE guy back in the day? Was you a fan of Mr. Kendrick? Was it one of those rare moments where you actually get to mark out when you meet somebody?
Well, when you're in the profession like I am, wrestling now, and when you meet someone like Brian Kendrick as a wrestler, you do your best not to mark out.
Yeah,
You try to fight mellow, even though your inner fanboy is raging right now. But yeah, I was a fan. I've been watching wrestling since the late '90s, and I grew up in the Attitude Era and also the Ruthless Aggression Era, and that's why I also got to see Paul London and Brian Kendrick perform when they were the tag team champions.
yeah.
And I thought they were amazing for a guy, for people their size. I thought they were incredible.
That's it. And just a wealth of knowledge. I can just imagine, like I say, when you get to meet them, just be able to pick the brains. Just there's no downside to it. You're just going to be a better wrestler just for that communication, for that interaction.
Of course, like Brian Kendrick, he is everything that he says on the tin. He is incredible, and to be able to learn from him, and obviously gave me pointers as I said before.
Yeah.
And if ever there's a case, I would like to one day wrestle him if that ever comes up.
Oh, goosebumps.
I know.
Uh, Dude, that'd be amazing. Right, I'll get the generic question out of the way because I kind of asked. I was questioning like how long you've been a fan for and everything like that. So it's an obvious kind of segue. But you sort of said you was a fan from the late '90s, ruthless aggression, attitude era. Um, what was it? When did the penny drop? When did you kind of think, you know what, I want to do this? What made you take those first steps through that school door?
You know what's funny? I can't remember exactly a moment. I just knew that in my heart I wanted to do this. Like grew up watching guys like Stone Cold, The Rock, who, by the way, is my favorite wrestler. Is if anyone's wondering, The Rock. Guys like John Cena, guys like there's so many. Like Eddie Guerrero is a big inspiration. Yep, exactly. Viva la Raza. But yeah, I can't remember. I can't pinpoint, but I just know I've always wanted to do it. And when I got the chance to finally train and do it, and now I've been 7 years of my career now, and to think I'm doing the same thing that I to the guys I've been watching, it's a dream come true.
Dude, somebody explained it to me once. I'm not going to say someone, I know exactly who it is because I paraphrase it so often now. Hard Man Dan was kind of like, when you start training or when you sort of become a wrestler and start doing the shows, everything like that, it's hard to imagine. Or, but It's just one ladder. If you think of wrestling, it's just like it's as a profession, it's just a ladder, and it's the same ladder that, like I said, The Rock's on, Austin was on, Randy Orton, AJ Styles, very Will Ospreay, anyone, you know, everybody might be at different parts of the ladder, but you're all on the same ladder and you're all climbing up it.
Of course, like that's everything in this business. Like it's a ladder. Like you just want to climb, get to the top. It doesn't matter if it's elevation or it's any other promotion. You want to
Yeah,
be at the top, and that's exactly how the Miracle wants to be at the top.
it's clever. So, I mean, obviously, when you started, obviously, I shouted out Elevation. Have you been Elevation since day one, or have you kind of moved around and tried various places?
Well, I've been wrestling since my wrestling debut was March 9th, 2019. And that wasn't for Elevation. This was for a promotion called Coventry Pro Wrestling, and Coventry is where I'm from. Yeah, I started there, and I had a different name at the time, and I spent a good 5, 6 years there. And but I decided I want to go elsewhere, and a few months later, I found Elevation, and Elevation. I've been performing there since September, and since then they've been good to me, and the fans have really accepted me. They've accepted the Miracle.
Just basking in it, man. Just basking in the miracle. Because obviously, I'm looking through, like I said, I'm looking through show posters. I always kind of keep an eye out on Elevation shows. I mean, they do so many. That's the great thing about them. They all seem to be doing something every week or every couple of weeks. They're somewhere else. And obviously, I know in like January, you got to go against Riley Nova.
Of course,
And to me,
yes, right.
that shows how highly Elevation must regard you. Because well, you had Riley over then. You've just fought Brad Matthews as well, and we're talking, they're like top guys
Of
who
course,
you would be in the ring with them unless they knew you could take
of
charge.
course. Like I fought Riley Nova. I did the best I could. Unfortunately, he got the better of me. But I've got him April 12th in a no countouts match. So I hope he's watching this. And Brad Matthews, yes, tough compare, really tough compare on Sunday. But I was able to get the victory, able to hit the Miracle forearm on him. And yeah, like you said, Elevation has many other shows, and hopefully, whoever comes across the Miracle better be ready because I'm going to give them the Miracle forearm
Dude.
out.
Uh, but yeah, like I said, you're not going to be going against these guys unless you could not. You've got to be on the same page. You've got to be on the same level. They're not going to just feed you to these guys. They're going to put you in there because they know you've got to put on a good match against them. And yeah, going up against guys like Riley, Brad, I say
Yeah.
Riley again. It wasn't just a one-off.
No,
You
no,
you
no.
guys must have put on a hell of a match. And they're like, right, okay, this is obviously apologies to Sash, but this is money. We can do it. We'll go back to this. Give them another
Actually,
match.
Elevation management saw it, and the fans saw it as well. But they know deep down, I could pin them. That's why we're having this match again out April 12th.
Yeah,
I've also come across some Brady Phillips. You heard of him?
yeah,
Brady Phillips. We
no,
had
but
a triple threat match involved Riley Matthews. That was a tough
yes,
contest. Unfortunately, he pinned me on that one, but that was the past. And maybe if we come across again, maybe the results would be different.
yeah. So again, yeah, that's another name. It's obviously I'm based in Leeds. I'm a
Yeah,
Yorkshire. I'm not Yorkshire guy, so I'm based in Leeds. But my local wrestling is my local promotion is mainly True Grit. So obviously, yeah, Riley Nova, Brady Phillips, Brad Matthews, Cash Money Sash, Franco Fate, a lot of those guys that you're obviously very familiar with. They're main eventers at True Grit. So yeah,
yeah,
that kind of that's why I was thinking of you like that level. That's how highly I'm regarding you and being like you're going toe to toe with these guys, mate. These guys are
yeah.
main eventers, so
I
it
know
speaks
it's
volumes
truly
to how
it's
good.
truly an honor to be in the ring with them. Despite our differences, it's an honor to be in the ring with some top class athletes. And True Grit, if I ever want to visit there, if the True Grit want to have the Miracle, I mean, hint, hint, maybe if they're
Yes,
interested.
yes. There's always Well, as a fan, obviously I have no power, but as a fan, I would definitely be hyped to see that. Because obviously, like I said, I'm trying to watch as much elevation as I can do.
Yeah,
I get people sending me stuff, and yeah, man, like I said, I've seen you in action, and I would pop huge to see you like at True Grit. I'm like, and again, though, the matches that are possible there, like I said, you've already kind of got stories elsewhere that they could be brought in. You've had those matches with Riley, you've had those matches with Brady. You know, yeah, who's to say in a different promotion you don't come in and help some of those guys out? No, obviously, some are good guys, some are bad guys at True Grit, but they could always need a miracle.
of course, everyone needs a miracle. That's what I try to tell people. I'm not the miracle, not just because I'm pretty or that I do these insane moves, because of what I represent, and that is hope. And I'm hopeful one day that I can get on, hopefully, come to True Grit and any
Right.
other place around the UK.
I think, well, we'll put it out into the universe. It's there now. It can manifest itself. We'll let it take shape. And, down the line, when it happens, we can look back at this and be like, that was the start of the
Yeah,
manifestation.
it all
We put,
started here. Keep this on
yeah,
record.
we put it out. So obviously, yeah, going back to like, starting the training and everything like that. So, again, I'm always really curious as to like picking people's brains, like when they start or along the way, along the journey, what kind of obviously you develop like a move set, you develop what kind of you get a feel for what feels right for you, whether it's been like technical, whether it's been aerial, or brawler. When does that kind of click? When did you, after you start training, did you kind of get that feeling for like, okay, this is the style that I want to go for?
Well, when you start out, you don't know what you start. You think you do,
No,
but then there's other times in your body. Like me, I'll admit, I'm not the tallest guy. I'm not the biggest guy. I'm not going to lift every big guy there is. So my start, as I kept training and evolving, I realized I'm much more of an aerial guy.
yeah,
I can do all these high flying moves, and occasionally I use my strength, but mostly my aerial moves are my best feature. And I'll admit, I like to get a bit scrappy.
it's always a good fallback, and it's always a good plan B. When the other stuff's not working, just punch him in the face.
Of
It
course,
generally works.
it's the best case scenario. If it's best case, we need a backup.
There we go. But I'm always curious, like obviously, so it's then being able to do the aerial stuff is. I can imagine 90% of people who get into wrestling kind of see themselves doing that. We have a whole generation who were inspired or grew up, with like Jeff Hardy or RVD or those guys, Eddie Guerrero,
Rey
um,
Mysterio.
and, like, Rey Mysterio as well. Yeah, but I can imagine like 90% of people be like, right, that's what I would do if I was a wrestler, and then they get in the ring and or they climb the turnbuckle and they're like, nope, I'm keeping my feet on the floor. This is not for me. But then the lucky ones obviously climb the turnbuckle and just feel very much at home.
I'll admit, I was one of those guys who was scared because at first I was naturally afraid of heights. But as I've been doing this wrestling now for 7 years, and as time went on, I've lived to fight that fear of going up that top rope and even springing off it. And now I can say I am the fear.
Yes, you conquered the fear, you became the fear.
Yes, that fear, conquering that fear was, in a word, what is it? Miracle.
A miracle, dude. It's just and the embodiment of it is not just the name; it is how it is. So many different examples of how the miracle works. Um, so yeah, we're talking innovation. Obviously, you talked like Coventry back in the day. Like I said, you've been around now for like 7 years. I mean, anywhere else that you kind of obviously, well, I mentioned the Brian Kendrick thing. That was with I want to say
Full
Full
force.
Force or Full
Full force
Full Force
wrestling.
Wrestling. Yeah, that's not one that I'm overly. I don't know that much about. But was that somewhere that you stayed for a while, or was it just a passing visit?
Oh no, it was just a passing because the Brian Kendrick seminar. But I know some people from Full Force, and I've got to share the ring with them at different places. There was one, Jerry Scott. You've heard of him, Hotshot Jerry
Yeah,
Scott. Yeah,
yeah,
we crossed paths in the new promotion, East Championship, no, East Midlands Championship Wrestling in a Rumble.
uh,
Yeah, but other than that, that's the only time I've been at Full Force. But if they ever want to book me on a show, I'm right here.
yeah, man. If anybody wants to, yeah, hit Mr. Harris up, get him on your show, get him sort of see what he can do. Because again, like I said, I've never had the pleasure of seeing you in person. I've seen footage, I've seen reels, I've seen matches. But that's the thing with British wrestling. It's great, obviously with like YouTube and stuff, I get to see a lot of stuff, but it's never quite the same as seeing something in person. Seeing somebody do
Of
what they
course.
do, see the real life miracle. It's just see the miracle on the screen. And that's cool. It's very very
Trust me,
cool.
you want to see
But
him. You
it's
want to see a
nothing.
miracle in person. That's when you feel the
Like,
aura of it.
just just bask in
Yeah,
it.
just
Just
take it all in.
mate. That'd be just. I say it's just that's the thing about British wrestling at the minute. Like we've got, like I say, I've mentioned True Grit. We're talking elevation. You mentioned East Midlands. Championship wrestling. I had to make sure to put the Midlands in there because that's just very much ECW otherwise. So it's EMCW. Full force. There's just a lot out there, and that's what I was sort of saying as well about you know other schools because a lot of people I speak to, obviously they've kind of got the home school, what they class as a home, but they do like to venture out. They like to hit up different places, different things, pick different people's brains. Um, like I know Billy O'Keefe comes down to elevation quite a lot now, but I know he trains at Pursuit. I know he goes to the Temple as well, kind of thing. So like everybody's got three or four different schools that they like to kind of to be able to tap into.
Yeah, like for one, I have gone out to other places as well. I used to train for a year at Rev Pro.
Ooh,
Yep, like, and from where I'm from, Coventry, that's a 2 hour drive.
yeah,
Yeah, and even though like obviously I haven't been booked at RevPro, but I got to learn a lot there while I was there and apply some of the stuff that I've at places like Elevation or East Championship Wrestling or East Midlands, man, East Midlands Championship
yeah.
Wrestling.
Easy up, easy up.
ECW. But yeah, I've got to apply what they taught me in other places, especially Elevation, as that's become my new home promotion.
Yeah, yeah. What you say, you missed the yet there. You're not being booked at Rev Pro yet. That's
Yeah,
that's the important little thing. But yeah, it's just being able to get out about, like so I say, just picking up what you've learned somewhere, taking it somewhere else, spreading the knowledge. Uh, Talking of spreading knowledge, obviously another name that I saw recently, and this was at Elevation. It's possibly the greatest European champion in history. Mr. D'Lo Brown.
yes, amazing guy, funny guy as well, but amazing guy, and great and very great wrestler as well.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And he was the first Euro Continental champion as well.
The best, first and best in
Best,
my opinion.
the best, the best one. And to learn from him as well, someone who's been in that system, who's been in the WWE, who understands it. It was again a true honor. Like same with Brian Kendrick, it's true honor.
But again, it's like I was saying about the Brian Kendrick thing. It's just there's no downside to it. You get to meet somebody like that. You get to pick the brain, and you know you just become better. Even if it's
Yeah,
just a 5 minute conversation, a 30 minute conversation, or an hour, or a full day seminar. It's just something sticks. If you just take one thing away from it, it's just going to make you better. It's just going to yeah. So I like it when people
even
get
just
a
the
chance
little
to
things.
yeah.
My
It's
apologies.
the difference
It's just
between
the little things that picture.
ordinary and extraordinary. It's just that little bit extra.
Yeah, yeah. It's just
Oh, that
like
was,
all those little things that you don't think of. They can tell you that, and you think,
yeah.
"Well, I didn't think of that," and now it's stuck in my brain.
It's like a light bulb moment. It's like it must be one of those things. Obviously, I can only speak from this side of the curtain, but when people like D'Lo or Kendrick point something out, you just be like, "That's so obvious now." I'd never, you would never have thought of it, but now that they've mentioned it, it's like, yeah, of course, it's clear as day, and you just keep doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like again, they've been in there, so for them to teach you that, it's like you're almost inside the machine, the WWE machine,
Yeah,
without being in it. If you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, like I
Yes,
said, I'm a guy who'll just take anything in just to make myself better.
I'm again, I'm talking, saying I'm bigging up Kendrick, I'm bigging up D'Lo. I mean, obviously, you've got the source, you can tap up Mr. Joseph Connors,
Of
whenever you
course.
want, kind of thing. And we're talking about guys who have been to the mountain. He's worked. He was a WWE contract. He knows how it works. He knows about the big machine, and you've got access to that on a daily basis.
Yeah. Yes. Like it's been incredible to learn from Joseph Connors, and he's really helped me. And so like someone like Jack Salstrom, who went by Jack Stars
Yeah.
back in WWE, it's been like almost at first intimidating, but then now it's like it's very accepting that I'm learning from these guys, and I'm if as I'm learning from them, I just feel each little bit of me is getting better and better, and there's no words to really describe it.
So the miracle, again, that's something else that kind of gets me when obviously, we talk about people when they start training, what kind of moves feel natural, what they feel comfortable doing, everything like that. Obviously, you kind of need to be able to get yourself out there, get that personality there, get that kind of something that the fans can either cheer for or boo for, kind of thing. You kind of got to develop this personality about you. And
Yeah.
obviously you've got the miracle. That is, you are, like I said, you go out there and you let people bask in it, you let people see it, you let people witness, the miracle. But again, when did you get that confidence in the ring to be able, to call yourself, when was the miracle born?
Well, it takes time when you have something like the miracle. It takes time. It doesn't just happen in a day or a week or even a year. I think as my time went on, like I obviously told you, I went by a different name when I
Yeah.
was at somewhere like Comedy Pro Wrestling. But when I left there, I needed a new side of me to show my passion, and that's when I felt the miracle started to develop, especially in elevation. And that's what I want people to see: the passion, the grit, the fight that I'm bringing in that ring.
It's just like that kind of, again, being able to develop it or not develop it, because obviously they also say it's you, but you kind of got to be able to turn it up a little bit for the for the fans,
Of
so they
course,
kind of pick up
it's
on
a
it. So they,
confidence.
yeah,
That's
but
all
it's
it
always
is. It's
something,
confidence.
and always
Because
it's always like,
some of the fans. My apologies for interrupting.
no, it's forgotten.
No, it's like the passion of the fans, like the confidence. Like you can have a fan that is not confident, but they see me and they want to live through me
Yeah,
with that confidence. That's what I'm trying to give them. I'm not a miracle for myself. I'm a miracle for the fans.
for everyone, for the people. So that's a good confidence to me. That's kind of like putting the confidence to a good use. It's like I said, it's making people feel better. Like you, like I said, you're making them interact, or you get to feel a miracle. Where I mentioned him earlier, Cash Money Sash. He's kind of got that confidence, but it goes
Oh
the other
yeah,
way. It's
oh
all
yeah.
about him.
It's all
It's
about
an
that cash.
internal. It's nice to see somebody with the confidence use it for good. For the people.
Exactly. That's what it should be. But someone like Sash, obviously, he thinks it's all about the cash. Well, as the fans like to put it, he is trash.
Yeah, I shouldn't speak by the Sash now. The dude's last time I saw is retired. From wrestling as a result of what a match at True Grit. So if that is true, I doubt I've seen the last of him. I'm sure he'll come back as a manager at some point. He's got too much to say not to be seen or heard.
Yeah, well, he recently had a match with Simon Miller, and he when he lost that match, he quit. He quit Elevation.
Ah, there we go. So
Yeah,
retired from True Grit, quick elevation.
yeah,
Uh, but when you just kind of think, oh, we're not seeing the last of that guy, so we'll keep our eyes peeled.
yeah.
But again, he's somebody that I know is closely associated with Elevations. A few times I've spoken to him. He was the guy who kind of put it onto my radar. He used to big up to me. That's why I went looking. I was like, oh crap, okay, just got Elevation, discovered you, like I say, various other guys there. So he's not all bad. He led me down the path once in the right way. So, well, shout out Sash. So, but yeah, that's the thing. But I said, in a roundabout kind of way, I was mentioning Sash because of the confidence thing. It's I like I like people with big personalities in wrestling. That come across that gives the fans something to, let's say, either connect with or hate. And it must be something. I can't imagine it coming easy. Like I say, it's very much you've got to work on it. You've got to have that confidence to kind of believe in it, believe in yourself.
Of course, like most personalities in wrestling is the person cranked up to 11.
Yeah.
And I say this, the miracle is me cranked up to 11. And that's the way it's got to be. Because if you haven't got that confidence, fans won't believe in you.
Yeah, I can, yeah, we're a fickle bunch. Sometimes wrestling fans, if like I say, if we pick up on something, or it's not genuine, or we kind of feel like the person's not giving 100% or something like that, I think that kind of radiates towards us, and we kind of pick up on it, and then yeah, it's very easy just to stop paying attention or stop caring. And obviously, as when you're in a match, the key thing is as fans, we have to care about it. We have to emote, we have to cheer or boo or get behind you. But yeah, to do that, we have to feel it's 100% genuine. And that's what another thing. That's what I'm kind of picking up on everything I've seen of you in action is, mate. It's just smooth. It's genuine. It's everything just comes across like very emotional. I care about the matches that I've seen you in, and I care about the results.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, like I said, like it's just believing in yourself, really. It's you can also apply it to everything in life, whether it's wrestling or not. You just got to believe in yourself because at the end of the day, your energy is spreading across everyone.
Yes, manifestations. Just putting it out there,
Exactly. Manifesto. That's what we're doing.
dude. Just electricity and energy surging auras. Um, So, I mean, that's it. We talked about the miracle. You mentioned you've got the match against Riley Nova coming up. Um,
Yes.
anything else you want to sort of that we can, anything that's been announced that we can, you can drop on here, or is there
Well,
secret stuff going on?
well, the match is on April 12th in Colville, and
Yeah.
it's a no countouts match. 'Cause last time me and Riley crossed paths, it was in a gauntlet match. Me and him were the last two, and I almost had him beat, but he suddenly got away, and he decided to take a count out loss. And me, I don't want that. I want to pin Riley in the middle of that ring,
Yeah.
and
One, two, three.
that way I can truly tell people that I truly beat Riley Nova. And April 12th, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna do it.
Right. That's going to be, and again, again, talking about the caliber, the high level of how you're regarded, being a main event player kind of thing. I know Riley's just coming off of the back of this whole he turned on Joseph Connors,
Of
he's
course.
become a heel kind of thing, he's bad guy Riley now at Elevation kind of thing. But again, he's one of the poster boys.
Yes.
Um, and you've got a chance, like I said, to pin those shoulders, to be, to knock him off the posters, to be the face of Elevation.
Of course, despite my indifference towards Riley, I can't deny his talent. He is one of the best, not just in Elevation, but across the UK. And like you said, to pin his shoulders will not just put me on the map of Elevation, but to get more eyes on me from other places as well, like True
Uh,
Grit.
it's got to, oh mate, yeah, it's got to be one of those things where word of mouth, people talk about it, and like, yeah, man, Mr. Harris beat Riley clean 1, 2, 3. This dude is a guy you want on your show. This is a guy you want to look, be looking at kind of thing. And it's just again, that's the thing about wrestling. I love that people talk about results or promotions elsewhere, and it's another word I hear a lot of is networking. But it's that's the
Yes,
kind of sort of stuff that will help you to network. You'll be that guy, that beat Riley at Elevation and so on and so on. But yeah, networking. That's like it's not just me. I've heard it a lot. I imagine it is a huge part of the wrestling journey.
of course. Like I've gone around and helped out on shows, whether it's setting up the ring or just doing the stuff. Maybe it's camera work or just uh, putting fans in their seats. It's all about getting his name out there. There's some people who don't have the confidence to maybe like try it, but I think it will benefit you in the long run. I've done it. I've gotten booked on shows because of it, and I'd say it's the best go-to in order to get your name out there.
Yeah. Okay, I've heard it so often now that I can't help but yeah, it's kind of drilled into my head. And I'm not even a wrestler kind of thing, but if I ever was, I'm like, right, networking, networking. That's the key
Yeah.
kind of thing. Get yourself out there, introduce yourself to people. That's also one thing. I lack that confidence. I'm not a miracle kind of thing. That would be my Everest. Having going out there, introducing myself, talking to people, shaking people's hands. I'd be that weirdo that was sat in the corner of the dressing room, just keeping himself to himself, kind of thing.
Hey, everyone's got a miracle inside them, including you. You may not
Yeah,
discover it today, but one day you will discover it and you will go out there and meet new people.
nah, dude. Just yes.
Yes,
Um,
I'm raving the energy to you. I'm transferring the energy to you right now.
just dude.
Yeah,
Uh,
give me a receipt as well.
Mate, I'm giving you this whole episode is a massive receipt in resense of positivity and love and hyping you up. But the whole network thing, like I say, getting out there, doing this, it's just, I sort of say, it's just a weird situation of the sense of, you can go out and have these amazing matches, you've got the whole networking thing, but it's also creating moments.
Hmm.
Again, you sort of said, I think we both kind of grew up and kind of got interested at the same time, like sort of say the late 90s. I love, you know, great matches are amazing, but it's the moments you remember, it's the stories. Um, and again, I think that's something, I'm loving about Elevation and yourself and the matches. That said, this follow up match with Riley is as a result of the last one. It's got a reason to happen. It's got, you know, there's it's happening because of that last match. Like I said, it's now forced count anywhere. You're going into it, you're creating a moment for the fans.
Of course, I'm creating a miracle moment. That's what I like to call these, my miracle moments.
American
And so
MM.
far, I've created miracle moments, so from diving off stuff and doing some crazy stunts. But the one miracle moment is getting that victory. And hopefully, after that, I can go out and win a championship elevation. I've so far have not won one, but that would be the next goal: win a championship elevation, whether it be the
Dude.
breakthrough championship or the apex of itself, the elevation championship.
Ooh, that would be again. It's 2026. Are we in March? So we've still got 9 months. I say by the
Yeah,
end of the year. Yeah, I think you'll be stood there with something around the waist. Making it look even more miraculous.
yeah.
There's going to be some gold. Um, but again, that would be creating that moment. Telling giving the fans something to appreciate, taking them on a journey along the way. I'm a big fan of somebody chasing for the belt. I don't like it when they have one-off matches and then they've just won a belt. It's great. Get to kind of take you by surprise. If you deserve it, you deserve it. But man, I want to see that journey. I want it sort of be
Yeah.
like
You want me to finish my
again,
story? Is that it? You want me to
yes,
finish my story? Get a Cody Rhodes moment.
dude, get it going. Build. I mean, like so, you have this match with Riley. Who beat him? Riley beat Riley somehow. Gets the belt a few months down the road somehow. Right? Again, that would be number one contender, a
That
miracle
could
title shot,
that could be something. Is will the start left? We just gotta wait till the stars aligned.
dude. So I tend to go off on fantasy book stuff as well in my head sometimes, but I think that to me is when wrestling's doing it right. Is when you care enough to be like, oh, can you imagine if this happened? Or can you imagine if they did this? Ooh, that'd be cool.
It's beautiful, isn't it? The fantasy of it.
Yeah. Oh. Again, this is from my side of things. Just British wrestling is again. You've been involved on that side. You've been around, involved more, obviously, than myself as a fan. But from the fans' perspective, I'm sat here thinking this is as good as it's ever been, kind of thing. I'm generally excited for you guys to be involved in it. So I know as a fan, it's amazing to be a part of it. I can only imagine the energy and kind of like just being around shows and just lapping it up, just enjoying every moment of it.
Of course, ever since day one, like I'll admit, my first ever match, I was so nervous for it, very nervous. Like it's something I've never thought I would ever become a dream, become a reality. But after that match, I got emotional because I knew this is what I want to do. And here I am 7 years later, and that magic still hasn't faded away. I still get goosebumps before I go out there.
Dude. Somebody once said that if you ever stopped getting goosebumps before going through the curtain, that's when you kind of leave your boots in the ring, kind of thing. That would be, you could be doing it for 20 years and you should still be getting those goosebumps. You should still get that excitement.
Of course, like if you don't, then why are you doing it if you don't feel those goosebumps
Yeah,
every time?
man. Um, Going back to that first show, because again, that's something that kind of intrigues me in the sense of obviously, you can go through the training, you can start the journey, you can do this, you can kind of get comfortable in doing what you're doing. But that first time you step into the ring in front of an audience, I'm not at like a school show or in the safety of your own house, but when you go to like a different promotion or it's outside of your hometown kind of thing, that first time you step out in front of an audience, man, that must be terrifying, but just amazing in equal measure.
Of course, like I said, the first ever match I ever had, like so nervous, but when I stepped out there, it was just like a different world, as if I've stepped into Wonderland. And just walking out there, just go doing the thing, and then leaving there. You know what I want to do? I want to go back in there and do it again. And even when I left that promotion and I've gone to other places, especially Elevation, it's like it's the feeling just resets, because every crowd's different. Like some crowds will like you at first, some will take time, some just won't like you. But that is the beauty of wrestling. You never know what you're gonna get sometimes.
It's just that's but again, that's something else that kind of amazes me is that ability to adapt depending on the audience. Like I said, if you're going out there and you're kind of trying to get them to like you, but they ain't buying, and they're like, "No, we don't like this guy," and you can kind of like you kind of just wing it in the sense of, right, okay, fair enough. You guys don't like me, then it kind of frees you up a little bit, maybe to I don't know, do some different sort of stuff, maybe be hit a little bit harder, be a little bit sneakier, just mix it up a bit.
I'd say I'm glad at the moment that Elevations fans, especially, have seen that my passion radiates in that ring to them, and that's why I think they're liking me more and more. It took time, but I think now they're starting to get it now what the miracle's
Yeah.
about, and that's why they are praising the miracle.
It's because it's genuine, man. Like I sort of said, from the I've never witnessed it in person, but from what I've seen, it just comes across as genuine. As I said, as fans, we can tell when somebody is doing 100%, and you can't help but respect that. You can't help kind of get behind it, and it's just, yeah, maybe like I said, the elevation fans are just kind of realizing, shit, man, this guy is giving us everything. Yeah, I appreciate it.
But the motto is for me. The motto, even when I started this wrestling, it's always been for the fans. It's never been about myself. It's always about for them. If I'm not wrestling for them, and then I'm just wrestling for myself, and that's not what I want to come across.
So yeah, well, yeah, like sort of said, it's just that's the thing about wrestling. Like I sort of said beforehand, you get different things from different places, what to expect. It's a variety show, so it's knowing how to work that, or not work the audience, but kind of like maybe bend so they appreciate this a little bit more. They'll appreciate this more. Different audiences like different sort of things. Like I said,
Yeah.
you've got the aerial abilities. Some fans will absolutely pop huge for that. They'll love that. But maybe some fans just like, what? I just want to see him punch somebody in the face, or I want to see him ground and pound a little bit. And obviously, you've got that ability to adapt depending on the audience.
No, it's like you find what they like. Like if they like a bit of aerial, they'll like
Yeah,
you give them that. If they like a bit of just good old fashioned beat fighting, then give them that.
give
But like I said, there's different flavors. Different flavors. You just got to know which flavor they like. Chocolate, vanilla, strawberry.
a
If you
raspberry ripple.
raspberry, that's good.
But again, I mean, that's the sort of thing, from speaking to people, I spoke to people like when they get booked at different promotions, sometimes not everybody does it, but somebody said it to me once. I was kind of like, that kind of makes sense to me, but, they'll watch a few of the promotions matches like on YouTube, or they'll get sent like a match or something, and they'll sit there and they'll kind of see what the audience appreciates, what the audience reacts for, and they'll kind of they'll go into it's a bit like homework. You go in somewhere, you kind of study what's required. I know not everybody does it, but that's something that kind of always stuck with me when I got told about it.
With me, when I go to a new promotion, sometimes I ask or watch, like, what do they like? And they'll say
Yeah,
so and so. And of course, you just got to adapt. You can't force people to like a certain thing if they're not interested. And when you do find that thing to adapt, then they'll like you and made new fans.
yeah. It's having that flexibility. That's what always interests me. Like I said, you're not just set in stone. You don't just turn up. You don't paint by numbers. You don't follow the steps. You're flexible. You can adapt, as you sort of said, depending on what the fans like. But again, I think that's something that comes with confidence.
Of course, like it's like that adaptability. That is the key to being successful in this business is adaptability. So many guys that there are so many that want to just get their stuff in, regardless of promotions, and I don't like that. I rather
Yeah,
know what the audience like, give them what they want, and go home happy knowing that I gave them that.
yeah. Because again, that's what will get you back. At the next show, that's what will get that positivity. That's what, again, the networking thing that'll get what a promoter telling another promoter, dude, we had the miracle. Yeah, it ticked all the boxes. Turned up, smashed it, went home happy. Jobs are good, and get him on your show. That's the kind of sort of stuff. Like I said, it's being professional.
Of course, that's what it is. It's about the fans at the end of the day to me, and it should be to every other wrestler out there.
So just that's got to be a challenge in itself. Again, various different examples, different people doing things. When you're working, when you go in there, is part of the challenge is obviously you've got depending on the size of the card, potentially 16, 15 other people there. You know, I've got to presume a wrestler wants to be memorable. Obviously, that's the whole point. You want to be memorable. You want the fans talking about you after the show. Um, it's finding that something that will make you
Of
more
course,
memorable than the next guy. I can't be easy, man. I'd like so
of
that
course, you
would
just
be
got to
something that
find
would
something
totally.
that is.
Sorry, dude.
That's right. That's like I say. It's you just got to find something that's unique to you. Me, the thing that just makes me unique in terms of what the fans think is just my passion and the grit I give out in my matches. Because obviously I'm determined to win, but I'm also determined to entertain the fans while I do it.
I guess it's like also I think it's being memorable. But I said, you're there for the fans. You want to sort of leave that impression on them. And but being the miracle, having that positivity, that portraying that hope is very much setting you up to be like a role model. Kind of.
Yes.
I love wrestling. I love taking my son to wrestling shows because I'm a firm believer of like good guys in wrestling, especially for kids, or someone that you can look up to. You know what I mean? And if you know
Yes.
it's full of role models in the making. For kids at wrestling shows, and you'll put obviously, yeah, that's what you embody. That's kind of got to be like, look, I'm deliberately putting myself out there to be a role model and inspiring people.
Exactly. Like Hisham Harris is for everyone. Like when I was a kid, obviously told you my favorite wrestler was The Rock. I unfortunately never got to meet The Rock as a kid or even later on in my life. But if I can be a kid's favorite wrestler, be able to give them that like a picture autograph, just give them that moment for them to remember all the way when they get up to adulthood. That would be amazing. Knowing that I was able to do that for them while they
Yeah.
were kids.
Again, that's another thing for me. Like when you go to British wrestling shows, like I say, I'll take my son to them when I can. But when as much as he likes the matches, it's when he gets to meet him afterwards, or talking to somebody for a couple of minutes, or having his photo taken with somebody. They're the guys that he remembers. They're the guys that he'll come up to me a month later and be like, "Oh, are we going to see this guy anytime soon?" I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, when we get a chance." Um, again, like that interaction with the fans is it's got to be key. In making memories for both of you.
Of course, and it's got to be genuine. You got to really love it to give anyone, any fan, the moment that they can remember for a long time.
Talking of, obviously, again, going back to memorable moments, it's taking me back. I'm just thinking about that Riley Nova match going forward. But once we're going to put it out there, we're going to manifest it. Once you've beaten Mr. Nova, you've got that one, two, three. Like I said, there's two belts in elevation that you've got your eyes on. Um, is there anybody else that's kind of in the crosshairs? Is there anybody that you can kind of think, you know, we'll take care of them before we start going after that gold?
Wow, there are quite a few. Uh, and it's hard to name people. There is a lot of talented wrestlers at Elevation.
I've just got two names. Starting by Fantasy Heads just popped up again. I
Fine.
mentioned him earlier. I've looked again, maybe two guys very much on top form. It would just be kind of like a one-upmanship match for me. But obviously yourself against Billy O'Keefe as a fan,
Oh yeah,
I would pop. I would pop huge to see that.
yeah. Billy O'Keefe. I again, very talented guy. We have come across each other in a scramble match, but I would love to have
Yeah,
a one-on-one match with him. So I know how talented he is, but I know he's a tough fight. He's currently one half of the Elevation Tag Team champions with Jack Selstrom.
yes. And the other name I was going to mention again, it's guys that I know from up here, kind of thing. That I'm really happy to see venturing outside and turning up in your house. George Hunter is another one. I
Oh,
think
George
you and him,
Hunter.
yeah, you and him that'd be miraculous.
I mean, he just main evented the Mansoor show against Eli Valentine, and I was watching backstage,
Yeah,
and he is hell of a performer. And man, me and him, that would be magic.
dude, that would be amazing. Again, I'm just trying to put all this stuff out in there, and every day I check on the socials. I go on the animation page. I look at the show posters. I look at match announcements. And now I'm just thinking, oh mate, if I see this in the next over the next few weeks or the next month or so, I'll be like, yes, again, that would make me pop huge. Or get yourself a tag team partner, man. Go for those. You mentioned the other two belts. What's stopping you from those sort of, you know, yeah,
To be honest, I
teaming
almost
up
forgot
and
about them. Almost
yeah,
forgot
go for
about
the tag titles.
Yep, I have been thinking about them as well. Like, if the singles are at the moment busy, I can go for the tag belts. But who would my partner be?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Who could the Miracle trust enough to be a tag partner and go after those tag belts?
I mentioned it before. Just George is in the house. Like I said, you and George would be great opponents. You and George would be an amazing team.
George Hunter and the Miracle teaming up. That would be quite something.
Yeah. It's a miraculous hunt. It is a miraculous hunt.
It is probably our team name, the Miraculous. But
Hunting a
whoever,
miracle. Oh, yeah, that's another one.
well, whoever wants to tag with me, if I ever come across the tag team titles, DM me, look me, hit me up.
Dude, mate. Again, I'm just kind of going down this rabbit hole now. I'm just like, oh, what about this, what about this, what about this? Oh, mate, that'd be amazing. But again, just because I think all four guys, all four of you guys in that match are absolute top tier talents, and that would just it'd be an amazing match. But you could know it would be full of moments that people would be talking about, for a long, long time. So, oh, that's
Fingers crossed.
me. Again, I'm stuck on that moment now. But yeah, so hopefully in the next 9 months, either the tag team titles or the two singles titles, like, all of them, just start belt collecting. I want to see you in a
Be
year's.
Kenny Omega. I'm be Kenny Omega. Be the belt collector.
That's it. I want to see the year. I just want to see you a photo of you like this, just belts everywhere, just stood there. Like, forget Kenny Omega, like going old school Ultimo Dragon style.
Trust me. In fact, because you said that, I'll think about it. Maybe I'll not. I don't have to just win a belt at Elevation. I can go anywhere. I can go True Grit. I
Yeah,
can
man.
go anyone else who wants to book the Miracle. and they better get their championships ready for it, for me, because I'm going to come for them.
That's it. There's so many possibilities. Like I said, your elevations, there's True Grit, House of Pain. You know what I mean? There's Tidal. There's just the
There's
thing
so
is,
many.
that's what I said earlier about British wrestling at the moment. It is just crazy. There's I don't know. I always kind of sort of say this. You're 15 minutes away from a show. You're never more than 30 minutes away from a good show. There's always something nearby. There's so much out there for people to go and watch. As great as that is, I suppose the flip side is, there's a lot of competition for spots.
Definitely, definitely. Okay, there's a lot of talented wrestlers that want to get booked on shows, and talented eyes. Most of them I want to wrestle again, but again, it depends on the promotion. They want if they want to book me, that's fine. I'm happy to do whatever.
Man, I'm just thinking now, like so I say, I'm just feeling off those promotions as well. But yeah, there's no lack of options out there. There's so much possible. There's so many possibilities of like say dream matches, things like that. We've talked about your face filing over Brady Phillips, Brad Matthews. Um, if I've missed this, I apologise, but I would love to see you go against Franco. I think you
Franco,
get
yes, he's a hell of a competitor. We've actually come across in a scramble match as well. That yes, that was just our interaction was just a taste of what to come. Whether we face an elevation, true grit, whatever, that would be a hell of a match.
yeah, man. Because again, it's wrestling 101. It's that speed, it's that agility against just sheer force, power. Bulk. It's the story that's been told 1,000 times. David versus Goliath kind of thing. Like, what's it? You're not a small guy. Franco's is slightly above average size, and you've got the speed. He's got the strength. It would just be a match made in heaven, kind of thing.
There's a big guy I would also like to face. Someone I've always wanted to have admired, and that's Simon Miller.
Oh, oh,
Yeah, he's someone I would look. That's one of my dream matches. To have a match with Simon Miller, whether it be Elevation or anywhere else. I'm just like, or I can tag with him. That would be a good tag partner as well, Simon Miller.
you and Simon Miller against Billy and Jack.
Yeah, if that's
That'd
possible.
work.
But
Ooh,
even a one-on-one match, that would be something else as well.
May. My last Final Fantasy booking match. We're talking elevation. We're talking. I've been a fan of British wrestling for a while. One of my top five guys ever in British wrestling is Martin Kirby, and I'm always seeing him
Oh,
pop up. Elevation. He seems to be like a regular now at Elevation, which is amazing. Um, but yeah, yourself against the master of the Zoidberg elbow himself.
he's someone I've been watching since the What Culture Pro Wrestling days,
Yeah.
and he's fantastic as well. And funny enough, I am actually tagging with him April 11th at the Northampton show, Elevation Fearless against the Chapter, in a 6-man elimination tag, and it's going to be a huge honor to share the ring with him and to team with him.
You are. Yes, I remember. I sort of have elevation do that many shows. I lose track of what shows on what and what matches and graphics and stuff. But
Yeah,
I've really, yes, I remember seeing the graphics for that match, and I popped when I saw it. I didn't think, and that might be what planted the seed why I mentioned Kirby. But yeah, so okay, so you get to team with him. Again, like sort of said, he's just one of those guys where nothing bad can come from it. Just being around Kirby, I think, makes people better.
yeah,
He's
definitely.
that good. Um, so, but from partners to just I want to say I want that one on one match.
Yeah,
Sorry, mate. I'm booking the rest of your year here. I'm kind of like, right, I want to see you
that's
against
right.
this.
You're sending a signal out. You're sending a hint out to Elevation Management, like book these matches for the Miracle.
Yes, for the fans. The fans have
For
spoken.
the fans, of
I
course,
am
but man,
the fans. I am just one, but we are legion. I speak for the many. I'm the voice of the voiceless. Please, yeah, book these matches. Mate, that would be amazing. So, dude, I said I would kind of keep you for an hour, which I think we're kind of coming up on. It's just been, I say, I'm kind of getting lost here talking about fantasy booking this, fantasy booking that. Is there anything else that's going on? obviously we talked about the Riley Nova match. Anything else you want to sort of shout out, or anywhere else you've been that you want to shout out whilst I'm here?
Well, like Win Wrestling, like uh, they're the one who's got the first taste of the Miracle, and I've been there. I went to the Rumble there. Unfortunately, didn't get the win, but whenever I want to get back in there, I will. Like I said, True Grit. I would love to them pay attention to me. Hopefully, if they want to book me, I would love to perform at True Grit.
Yes.
And any other places you might know, like maybe Blackheart Wrestling.
Blackheart, yeah. Tidal
Yeah,
as well. I've sort of shouted them out. Yeah, there's loads in defence around this area. But yeah, man, like I say, we'll tag you in stuff and we'll try and, like, the whole point of doing this is to get people looking at people that they might not have seen
yeah.
or
Like
people they've heard of.
we need more people praising the Miracle. That's what we need. We need more
There we go.
new fans.
Oh, dude, obviously you mentioned Win there. That'll obviously be wrestling in Northampton.
Yes, that's
Um,
correct.
Yes, so that's the confusing thing about wrestling. I know there's two wins. Obviously, there's wrestling in Newcastle as well. So I just clarify it's Northampton because I know they're on YouTube. I've seen, um, I was going to say I'm good mates with Joey Slade, but obviously I know Joey Slade. Joey Slade's boss, and I try and help out uh, that win on socials as of when I can by sharing stuff or bigging stuff up. And I know they were put on hell of a lot of good shows using a hell of a lot of good talent, kind of thing. So yeah, it's another good promotion to have on the CV. To be able to tick off.
Of course, like not just them, like any promotion. I'm happy to perform at any promotion. Like if they're interested in having the Miracle on their show,
Yeah.
which unbelievable they should, but that's up to them.
Yeah, man. Well, why wouldn't they be? Everybody sort of, um, needs a miracle. Everybody wants to witness a miracle. That's why we go to shows to witness miracles, and we've got one there guaranteed. You can't guarantee a miracle
Of course,
unless you're booked on the show,
exactly.
and then
Like they need, everyone needs a
there's
miracle moment. Everyone needs a miracle moment.
then it's not just a maybe; it's a guarantee. You're
It's
like,
a
yes,
guarantee.
it's guaranteed. Mate, honestly, thank you so much. This has been a genuine pleasure. I put so much stuff out into the universe. We're hopefully manifesting things, set stuff in motion. Stuff will happen. We'll put it out there, and it can start to snowball. And yeah, like I said, I've pretty much fantasy. I've fantasy booked the rest of your year for you. So if any of that happens,
Yeah. Well, thank you for that.
it'll be it'll be amazing. And again, as I said, as a fan, mate, I would pop huge to see any of that stuff happen.
Well,
And
fingers
yeah,
crossed it does.
fingers crossed as well, dude. That yeah, you venture up to Yorkshire, we get to see you up here. I know the Yorkshire people could do with a miracle, and yeah, why not? Why not get up here and give the people what they want? So, do you want to let people know where they can find you on Instagram so they can keep up to date with shows that are coming up and, yeah, buy a ticket and come witness the awesomeness?
Yes, it's my Instagram is hashtag. It'll be real Hisham Harris. Put that in at real Hisham Harris. And you can see all
So,
my posts. You can see the miracle happening in front of your eyes. But it would be better if you buy a ticket and come see me in person.
exactly. As much as we can watch reels, as much as we can see stuff, as I said earlier, nothing compares to seeing it in real life. Go to a show, buy a ticket, support uh, just the local scene. Buy some merch. If there's any merch out there, I just
Well,
may.
at the moment, I'm in the process of getting the merch, but I will get them when I get the merch finished, get made. I'll put it out in the universe for everyone to see it, and they can order one. And
Yes,
yeah, wear the miracle.
I'm saying that is a man. That just screams merch for me. I'm just like, mate, if you know how many, you need to get something out there because that is just heaven
Yeah,
made for like merchandise. It's just
like
the
having
possibilities would be like.
have a little either praise the miracle here or praise at the have it at the back.
Yeah,
It could work. And also, I'm on
yeah,
TikTok and Facebook as well. If people want to go on Facebook,
yeah.
Hisham Harris, or TikTok, the Miracle Hisham Harris, you can see my reels on there.
There we go. It's just anything to get eyes. I love just the fact it's all visual. That's why I said just go on there on Insta, on TikTok, go see the reels, go watch the match footage, go see the people in action, and that will then hopefully lead you to buy a ticket, go to a show, sit down and enjoy it, and I guarantee you will leave with a smile on your face.
And
But yes,
if you're watching me at Elevation, you also see the other amazing talents at Elevation because Elevation is on the up and up as well. So don't just come for me, even though it is well, you should, but you should also come for the other amazing people at Elevation and support Elevation as well.
yeah, seconded. Like I said to you man at the start, any chance I get to talk about elevation, I'm going to jump at the minute because they are generally got me excited. As a school, I think they're training amazing people. As shows, they're putting on amazing shows, having amazing matches. Like I said, I get to watch. I've watched quite a few of them now through Spinebuster. So shout out to Spinebuster on YouTube, who've got various elevation shows and matches on their channel. So go subscribe to them. But more importantly, if you're not following the Miracle on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, hit that follow button, subscribe. Um, yeah, and keep your eyes peeled. But for us, I will say thank you for watching. Hit like, subscribe, share, comment, all the generic stuff we ask you to do every episode. It means the world. It helps us a lot. And yeah, keep your eyes peeled. Got some awesome stuff coming up. We've got the Work the Left Side at the movies coming up very soon. The first episode will be myself and Adam Bolt talking about the Scream films. And I've got more guests to announce as well soon. So thank you very much for watching. Uh, Hisham, Mr. Harris, it has been a genuine pleasure, mate. Thank you so, so much.
No,
Thoroughly
no, thank
enjoyed.
you for having me. And uh, as I said before, always praise the miracle.
And always work the left side. Goodbye.